the 1970s produced some of the most dominant and game-changing Formula One cars of all time. Machines so successful that they etched their names into the history books through sheer numbers. This was the decade of bold engineering, fearless driving, and designs that sometimes stayed at the front for years in a sport where most cars faded within a season. In this countdown, we'll rank the 10 most victorious cars of the 1970s. Each machine earned its place on this list by crossing the finish line first more times than any of its rivals. So let's start. In 10th place, Ferrari 312B. 5 wins from 22 races with a 23% win rate, the Ferrari 312B marked a crucial turning point for the Scuderia at the dawn of the 1970s. Designed by Mauro Forghieri, it introduced a brand new flat, 12 engine, a 3.0-liter, 180-degree V12 that offered a lower center of gravity, better balance, and improved aerodynamics compared to its predecessor, the 312 of the late 60s. This design change was not just evolutionary, it was revolutionary for Ferrari's Formula One program. The car made its debut late in the 1969 season, but it was in 1970 that it truly demonstrated its potential. Piloted by the charismatic Belgian Jackie Ickx and Swiss driver Clay Regazzoni, the 312B became a genuine title contender. Ickx won 3 Grands Prix that year, Germany, Austria, and Mexico, while Regazzoni added a victory at Monza, in an emotional home triumph for Ferrari. In 1971, the 312B continued to compete, with Ickx adding another win at Zandvoort. Despite its speed, the car often suffered from reliability issues, which prevented it from mounting a consistent championship challenge. Still, its 5 victories in just 22 starts gave it an impressive 23% win rate, placing it among the most efficient winners of the early 1970s. The 312BS influence extended beyond its numbers. Its flat, 12 layout became a hallmark of Ferrari's Formula One cars for over a decade, forming the basis for the highly successful 312T series later in the decade. In many ways, the 312B was the technological bridge that carried Ferrari from its struggles in the late 1960s into a renewed era of competitiveness in the 70s. In 9th place, Lotus 79. 6 wins from 26 races with a 23% win rate, the Lotus 79 is often referred to as the Black Beauty, and not only for its iconic John Player special livery. This machine, created under the genius of Colin Chapman, Peter Wright, and Martin Ogilvy, was the first Formula One car to fully exploit ground effect aerodynamics. The principle was simple in theory, but revolutionary in execution. Use sculpted side pods with inverted aerofoils and side skirts to create a low-pressure area under the car, literally sucking it to the track for unprecedented cornering speeds. Debuting at the 1978 Belgian Grand Prix, the Lotus 79 immediately proved untouchable. Mario Andretti dominated that race, and over the season he would claim 5 victories, securing the 1978 World Drivers' Championship. His teammate, Ronnie Peterson, also triumphed in Austria, bringing the season's total to 6 wins for the car. The dominance was so pronounced that rivals were left scrambling to copy the concept. However, the 79's magic faded quickly in 1979. The car struggled against improved competition, particularly Ferrari's 312 T4 and the more refined Williams FW07, which adopted the same ground effect philosophy but with further refinements. Even with its short-lived reign, the Lotus 79 remains one of the most influential F1 cars ever built. It didn't just win races, it reshaped the entire design philosophy of Formula One for years to come. Every major team in the early 80s would adopt ground effect principles inspired directly by this car's success. If you're enjoying this ranking, stick around and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. After all, your clicks are basically fuel for our obsession with F1 history. In 8th place, Ferrari 312 T4. 6 wins from 13 races, 46% win rate, tied with Lotus 79, but edging ahead due to its higher win rate. The Ferrari 312 T4 arrived in 1979 as the Scuderia's answer to the ground effect revolution introduced by Lotus the previous year. Designed once again by Mauro Forghieri, this car was essentially a heavily re-engineered version of the 312 T3, adapted to the new aerodynamic era. It retained Ferrari's signature flat 12 engine, a power unit known for its torque and smooth delivery, but incorporated a wider monocoque and reshaped side pods to generate significant ground effect without compromising the engine's cooling needs. Right from its debut at the South African Grand Prix, the T4 proved competitive. Its most famous year came with the driver pairing of Jody Scheckter and Gilles Villeneuve, a duo that balanced calculated consistency and raw speed. Villeneuve won in South Africa, the United States, Long Beach, and Spain, while Scheckter claimed victories in Belgium, Monaco, and Italy. The key to the T4's success wasn't just speed, it was reliability and balance. In an era where many ground effect cars were fragile, Ferrari managed to deliver a package that combined strong race pace with mechanical dependability. This consistency allowed Scheckter to clinch the 1979 Drivers' Championship, Ferrari's last until Michael Schumacher's era in 2000, and secure the Constructors' Championship as well. Although the T4 was competitive only for that single season, quickly outpaced in 1980 by lighter, more aerodynamically efficient rivals. Its 46% win rate over the 79 calendar stands as one of the highest efficiency scores of the decade. It was the perfect mix of traditional Ferrari power and modern aerodynamic thinking. 7th place, Tyrrell 005 and 006. 7 wins from 25 races. By the early 1970s, Ken Tyrrell's team had already shocked Formula One by defeating the established giants with their self-built car, the Tyrrell 001, 002, 003 project. The next stage of that success story came with the Tyrrell 005 and Tyrrell 006, introduced in 1972 and forming the backbone of the team's campaigns through to 1974. Both models were penned by Derek Gardner, continuing the philosophy of compact, well-balanced cars powered by the ubiquitous Ford Cosworth DFV V8. The 005 was the first iteration of the new design, a single chassis that served as a prototype for the refined 006, which was built in multiple copies and raced extensively. The 1973 season was their peak. With Jackie Stewart in supreme form, the 006 scored wins in South Africa, Belgium, Monaco, and the Netherlands, securing Stewart's third and final Drivers' Championship and delivering Tyrrell the Constructors' title. The 005-006 platform's agility and stability made it a formidable weapon on tight, technical circuits, while still competitive on faster tracks. In total, the 005 and 006 together claimed 7 Grand Prix victories over 3 seasons. Although they couldn't quite match the innovation coming from Lotus in the mid-70s, these Tyrrells represented the last major championship-winning chapter for the team, cementing their place in F1 history before the ground effect era changed the game entirely. 6th place, Lotus 78. 7 wins from 23 races. 30% win rate, surpassing the Tyrrell 005/006 thanks to a higher win percentage. We have the Lotus 78 in 6th place. The Lotus 78 was Colin Chapman's first step into the aerodynamic revolution that would redefine Formula One. While previous Lotus cars had been quick, Chapman and his technical team, notably Tony Rudd, Peter Wright, and Martin Ogilvy, were working on a radical idea, turning the entire underside of the car into a wing. Debuting in 1977, the 78 featured slim, wedge-shaped bodywork with sculpted side pods containing inverted aerofoils and flexible skirts that sealed airflow underneath the car. This created a low-pressure zone, sucking the chassis to the asphalt, the ground effect principle. The concept offered dramatically increased cornering speeds without requiring more engine power, a major breakthrough in the DFV era. With Mario Andretti and Gunnar Nielsen as lead drivers, the Lotus 78 won 5 races in 1977, 4 for Andretti, 1 for Nielsen. The car remained in service for the start of 1978, adding 2 more victories before being replaced mid-season by the even more dominant Lotus 79. While its successor became the star, the Lotus 78 was the pioneer. Its 30% win rate across 2 seasons demonstrated the concept's immediate potential, and it left rivals scrambling to understand, and eventually copy, its aerodynamic secrets. Without the 78, the Lotus 79's crushing dominance in 1978 would never have been possible. 5th place, Ferrari 312 T2. 8 wins from 32 races. When Formula One regulations shifted in 1976, banning tall airboxes and introducing stricter aerodynamic limits, Ferrari needed to adapt its all-conquering 312T without losing the magic that had brought it titles the year before. The result was the Ferrari 312 T2, again designed by Mauro Forghieri, which retained the legendary flat 12 engine but with revised intake systems, lower bodywork, and improved suspension geometry to maintain handling balance under the new aero rules. The car made its debut at the 1976 Spanish Grand Prix and immediately proved competitive. That year, Niki Lauda took 3 wins before his horrific Nürburgring accident, while Clay Regazzoni added another victory, keeping Ferrari in the title fight until the final round. The 312 T2 evolved into the T2B in 1977, with further aerodynamic refinements and mechanical tweaks. This version delivered 4 victories, 3 by Lauda and 1 by Carlos Reutemann, sealing both the Drivers' Championship for Lauda and the Constructors' Championship for Ferrari. Although the ground effect revolution was just around the corner, the 312 T2's 8 wins over 2 seasons showed that Ferrari could adapt to changing technical landscapes without losing competitiveness. It bridged the gap between the pure mechanical grip era of the early 70s and the aerodynamic arms race that would dominate the decade's end. 4th place, Tyrrell 001 to 003. 9 wins from 26 starts. In the early 1970s, Ken Tyrrell's team was still a newcomer in Formula One, but the Tyrrell 001, 002, and 003 cemented their place among the sport's elite. Designed by Derek Gardner, these cars were compact, well-balanced, and powered by the proven Ford Cosworth DFV V8. The combination of agile chassis design and raw engine performance gave Tyrrell an edge on twisty circuits and the versatility to compete across different track types. The 001 debuted late in 1970, showing flashes of pace, but it was the 002 and especially the 003 that truly delivered results. Jackie Stewart, already a world champion, extracted the maximum from the package, winning 6 races in 1971 alone, a season where the 003 became the most successful single chassis in F1 history at the time. Francois Savert also played a vital supporting role, scoring consistent podiums and a memorable victory at the 1971 United States Grand Prix. Across 3 seasons, the Tyrrell 001 to 003 combination secured the Drivers' Championship for Stewart in 1971 and the 1971 Constructors' Crown. Though their dominance was relatively short-lived, these cars represented the perfect harmony of driver skill, engineering innovation, and team spirit, setting the stage for Tyrrell's place in F1 folklore. 3rd, Ferrari 312T. 9 wins from 15 starts. Surpassing the Tyrrell for the 3rd place with an incredible 60% win rate, we have the Ferrari 312T. By the mid-1970s, Ferrari was determined to end its title drought, and Mauro Forghieri's 312T proved to be the weapon that would do it. Introduced at the 1975 South African Grand Prix, the car featured the distinctive transverse-mounted gearbox, the T in its name, which allowed for a more compact rear end and improved weight distribution. Combined with Ferrari's powerful flat 12 engine and excellent mechanical grip, the 312T was both fast and forgiving, ideal for long championship campaigns. Niki Lauda was the driving force behind its success in 1975, taking 5 victories and sealing both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships with 2 races to spare, Ferrari's first double crown since 1964. The car's dominance continued into early 1976, with Lauda winning twice more and Clay Regazzoni adding another triumph before the team transitioned to the updated 312 T2 mid-season to comply with new aerodynamic regulations. The 312 TS brief but spectacular record, 9 wins from just 15 races, gave it one of the highest success rates in F1 history. It marked the start of Ferrari's most successful era of the decade, proving that a blend of innovative engineering and driving excellence could shift the balance of power in Formula One. 2nd place, McLaren M23. 16 wins from 68 races. When McLaren unveiled the M23 at the start of 1973, few could have predicted it would remain competitive for 6 consecutive seasons, an eternity by Formula One standards of the era. Designed by Gordon Koppbuck, the M23 blended elements from the team's successful Indy 500 cars with the proven Formula One principles of simplicity, balance, and adaptability. Powered by the Ford Cosworth DFV V8, it featured a clean aerodynamic profile, robust aluminum monocoque chassis, and suspension geometry that allowed constant fine-tuning as regulations and tires evolved. The M23 made an immediate impact, with Denny Hulme scoring a victory at the Swedish Grand Prix in its debut year. But it was 1974 that truly defined the car's legacy. Emerson Fittipaldi joined the team and delivered 3 wins, securing McLaren's first Drivers' Championship and its first Constructors' title. That same year, Mike Halewood's consistent performances reinforced the M23's reputation as a well-rounded, reliable contender. Even as new designs appeared, the M23 kept pace. In 1976, James Hunt famously drove it to the Drivers' Championship in a dramatic, controversy-filled season, taking 6 wins despite fierce competition from Ferrari's 312 T2 and the emerging ground-effect Lotus. The car's adaptability allowed it to be continually upgraded, with revised aerodynamics, new suspension parts, and narrower bodywork, keeping it competitive well into 1977 and even 1978, when it still scored points against far newer rivals. With 16 victories, 2 Drivers' Championships, and 1 Constructors' Crown, the McLaren M23 became one of the most enduring and successful cars in Formula One history. Its longevity was a testament to a fundamentally sound design that could evolve with the sport's rapid technical changes, making it a true benchmark of the 1970s. Before we reveal the first place, we have 2 honorable mentions that made a significant impact in the 1970s. First, the Brabham BT44, which ranked 11th after losing a tiebreaker against the Ferrari 312B. Brabham BT44, 5 wins from 29 starts, 17% win rate in 1974 and 1975. The Brabham BT44, designed by Gordon Murray, was a sleek, minimalist machine that proved competitive despite lacking the resources of the biggest teams. Powered by the ubiquitous Ford Cosworth DFV V8, it featured clean aerodynamics and excellent mechanical grip, making it particularly strong on tighter circuits. Carlos Reutemann was its star driver, taking 3 victories in 1974 and 1 more in 1975, with consistent points finishes keeping Brabham in the championship hunt. Brazilian Carlos Pache won 1 race in his country in 1975. Despite its success, the BT44 lost a place in our top 10 to the Ferrari 312B due to a lower win percentage, but its performances, often against better-funded rivals, cemented it as one of the decade's overachievers. Wolf WR1, 3 wins in debut season of 1977. The Wolf WR1 achieved something almost unheard of in Formula One, winning on its debut. At the 1977 Argentine Grand Prix, Jody Scheckter took the car to victory straight out of the box, instantly putting the brand-new Walter Wolff racing team on the map. Designed by Harvey Postlethwaite, the WR1 was compact, well-balanced, and adaptable, giving Scheckter the confidence to add 2 more wins that same year, in Monaco and Canada. While its reign at the top was short-lived as ground effect technology took over, the WR1's immediate impact and remarkable debut season remain one of the most memorable stories of the late 1970s. Now, let's proceed to the first place, the most successful car of the 70s, the true legend. The Lotus 72. 20 wins from 75 races. The Lotus 72 stands as one of the most revolutionary and influential cars in Formula One history. Conceived by Colin Chapman and Maurice Philippe, it broke away from conventional design when it debuted in 1970. From the 72A to the final 72E, all versions were essentially evolutions of the same groundbreaking concept, refined over 6 seasons without ever losing their core identity. Its wedge-shaped profile, side-mounted radiators, inboard front brakes, and advanced aerodynamics redefined what a Formula One car could be. Right from its introduction, the 72 proved devastatingly quick. Johan Rindt won 4 consecutive races in 1970, setting himself on course for the Drivers' Championship, which he tragically claimed posthumously after a fatal accident at Monza. That year, Lotus also secured the Constructors' Crown, cementing the 72's place in the record books. Under the hands of Emerson Fittipaldi, the 72 reached its peak in 1972. Fittipaldi claimed 5 victories, becoming the youngest world champion at the time, while Lotus once again dominated the constructors' standings. The car continued to win in 1973 with Ronnie Peterson, whose flamboyant driving style perfectly suited its characteristics, adding 4 more victories to the tally. Even as rivals caught up technologically, Lotus kept the 72 competitive through constant development, from the early 72A IB iterations to the refined 72D and 72E. By the time it bowed out in 1975, it had amassed 20 wins, 2 drivers' championships, Rindt 1970 and Fittipaldi 1972, and 3 constructors' titles, 1970, 1972, 1973. The Lotus 72's unprecedented 6-season lifespan, paired with its technical innovations and consistent success, made it not only the most victorious car of the 1970s, but also one of the most important single designs in the sport's history. And there you have it, the 10 most victorious Formula One cars of the 1970s, each one a testament to innovation, skill, and relentless pursuit of speed. From Ferrari's pioneering flat 12s to Lotus's aerodynamic revolution, these machines didn't just win races. They shaped the decade and left a legacy that still influences Formula One today. Which of these legendary cars do you think it was the most dominant car? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.